Welcome to all our St. John Paul II parishioners and to all our guests who have joined in viewing this video reflection. I am Father Mike Ignatiuk, pastor of St. John Paul II Parish on the south side of Milwaukee. These midweek reflections allow me to reflect on things that I rarely have a chance to preach about on the weekends, such as the saints, dogmas, or traditions. The next few weeks are filled with many saints that are special to me. Today, I want to reflect on one group in particular. September 29th is the Feast of the Archangels, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. This feast is followed closely in only 3 days by the Feast of the Guardian Angels. I want to focus on the three archangels in particular. But to begin with, I need to discuss angels in general. The Catholic doctrine of angels dates back to the Fourth Lateran Council in the year 1215. As with so many of our beliefs, a belief in angels was commonly held truth well before it was dogmatically defined as the truth of the Church. The Lateran Council never set out to define angels as a dogma. The Council wanted to define that there is more to God's creation than the human mind can conceive or understand. It asserted this truth and then stated, such as angels. The truth that the Council wanted to affirm is even more relevant today, when we have the tendency to reduce what is real to only that which is seen, observed, or otherwise proved. We need to hold on to the doctrine of angels as a reminder that even in our highly technological world, which attempts to analyze the inner workings of atoms and the vast complexities of the universe, there is still more that we cannot prove, and much that lies beyond human comprehension. Besides, most of us grew up as children, trusting in our guardian angels. They represent God's care for us. That care is real, whether we experience it as an ethereal being who is watching over us at God's command, or simply experience God's direct care for our souls as we pray. The word angel comes from the same root as the word gospel. In Greek, the angelos is a messenger, and the euangelium is the good news or the gospel. Angels are simply God's messengers. In the scriptures, it is often difficult to separate the message from the messenger and the one who sent the message. Angels are more than delivery persons. They are representatives of God and carry with them God's power and his love. When you are touched by an angel, you are experiencing the divine. There are many references to God's messengers in the scriptures, but there are only 3 angels who are given proper names: Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. That is how they came to be known as the archangels. There are many traditions about the angels, and even an implied hierarchy, such as cherubim and seraphim. Please note that the cherubim are not cherubs, as we picture little children with wings. The cherubim are angels, great angels, who are tending God's throne in heaven. Seraphim, on the other hand, are angels associated with light and often depicted as having multiple sets of wings. But there are only 3 angels given a personal name, the 3 archangels. These archangels are also often identified with the 3 visitors to Abraham, who announced that Sarah would have a child in her old age. Raphael is the angel of God's healing and appears in the book of Tobit, where he brings God's healing to Tobit, his son Tobias, and his wife, who is also named Sarah. There is a legend that it is Raphael who stirs up the healing waters in the pool of Bethesda. In the Gospel of John, this is where Jesus heals the man who was lame. Raphael's message is always that our God is a healing God who wants to bring us to wholeness and health. Gabriel is the angel who announces good news. He best embodies the role as God's messenger. Most notably, Gabriel is sent to Zechariah in the temple to tell him that Zechariah and Elizabeth would have a son who became John the Baptist. Gabriel is also the angel who visited Mary at the Annunciation and announced that Mary would conceive and bear a son who would be named Jesus. In the Old Testament, he appears to the prophet Daniel to explain his visions. Jewish tradition also has him side by side with Michael as the defender of Israel. Lastly, the archangel Michael, after whom I am named, is the defender of both Israel and of the Christian people. His message is always one of God's strength being given when it is most needed. In the book of Revelations, Michael is seen as leading the heavenly hosts to defeat the forces of evil. Many people have great devotion to St. Michael. However, I sense that their prayers to him are often offered from what we might call a siege mentality. This prayer was added to the Mass by Pope Leo XIII when the worldly power of the popes had been stripped away. The church was under siege. Outside of this historical context, the prayer has taken on a connotation of being afraid of evil forces. Simply, we pray as if we are under constant attack from the devil and his forces, and we are weak and unable to resist. Instead, I believe that St. Michael's message to us should be one of strength and confidence. Michael is the one who communicates God's protection, and there is nothing stronger than God. Instead of praying in such a way that we quake in fear, our prayers to St. Michael should embolden us and make us more confident that God is on our side. There is always a unity between God and his angels. The message, the messenger, and the one who sent the message can never be separated. There are angels all around us, those we can see in human form and those we cannot see. But all of them bring us the truth of God's love for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and know that we are truly blessed. I remain your pastor, Father Mike.